know what we need to do, but a lot of times we are afraid to do it because there's going to be consequences. This is why you see what happened to Nick Cannon. You know, Nick Cannon did what he did, and I'll always have a level of love and respect for the moves that he tried to make. You know, and even though you know he was spanked, and he didn't think about the fact that he had a whole lot of people that he was employing. You know, and not only that, he didn't think about the fact that there were people who were following him and trying to have faith in him. And his apology definitely, I hear what some people are saying. His apology kind of may diminish for some, you know, him, the fact that he apologized. But me, for instance, I wouldn't so much focus on him and the fact that he was forced to apologize. I would focus more on the fact that he did what he did at great risk to himself, you know, and his entity that he had built, and he got punished for it, you know, and we need to have a level of compassion, you know, for the fact that he even said what he said and did what he did, you know, at great risk to himself. We can't just throw away our leaders that way, or throw away those who try to stand up for us. We shouldn't be so quick to throw them away. You know what I mean? And I would even say, even with Kanye, you know, Kanye, even though we would say, yo, he's making a fool out of himself, he's a coon, he's doing this, he's doing that. I believe that Kanye, in his own way, he tried to use his platform to try to speak up for us and speak to us. You know, before, if you listen to his music, if you listen to, you know, the way he was carrying himself, yeah, he had a level of egotism. You know what I mean? And egotism is definitely a gateway, man, for you to, you know, do all types of crazy things. You know what I mean? That's why egotism is so important for us to be against in the way we conduct ourselves as individuals. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'll leave it at that. I agree with what the sister's saying. You know, what we need to do is focus on building our own communities. We need to focus on uniting our people socially so that we can begin to enjoy the political and economic power that comes from organized people, you know, and don't focus so much on them. Focus on being who you know that you could be and should be, even if you have to start out as an individual, you know. And 9 times out of 10, when you begin to say that, yo, I got to change my life, it starts out with you breaking away from people that you used to be cool with and doing things that you used to, you know, be cool with doing. A lot of times you're going to have to find, you know, you're going to have to break off from that. And you're not going to find a lot of support in the beginning. You know what I mean? But if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do.
You're right. Both of you all are right. Isha, you and brother Mike, I agree. However, I just wanted to just add that we always talking about we have to focus on ourselves, and we as adept students that study ourselves know that we must focus on ourselves. But with, like you said, with great power comes great responsibility. You know what I mean? And it's up to the individuals who are awake to be a light. And a light just does what a light does. It shines. And a light can't tell who not to, you know, be under the influence of that light. All the light can do is be a light. But we also have to keep in mind that as individuals, like Mike was just talking about, the community aspect comes in when we have to start thinking about collectively, like John spoke about. We have to think of each other collectively, because what affects us individually affects us all collectively. You know what I mean? So it's not so to say that you focusing so much on what somebody else doing. I don't get myself caught up into what other people doing. All I do is I use their lives as templates to try not to be. You know what I mean? If it's something that's adverse, I try not to be that individual and not going out of my way to try to make them feel some type of way about it or put it in their face. You know what I mean? I just try to use it as a template for my life and be like, you know what? Damn, I don't want to do that. I don't want to treat people that way. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't want to interact with people. So let me try to be more aware of the way I interact with people, or, you know, verbally or physically. But we have to, as much as I hate to really get all into other people's shit, because I'm an introvert. You know what I'm saying? And I focus I require a lot of energy and time to myself because I'm an introvert. Because I relent and render so much of myself to other people outside of myself. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to be focusing on these people, what these people doing, but what these people do. Because we play a part in each other's existence. That's all I'm saying. And we have to be aware of, if I see my sister slipping, I got to pick her up. She might not like me saying it, you know what I'm saying? But in the end, and during her growth process, at some point, she's going to go back. She's going to revert back to that moment like, damn, thanks, thanks for I was off my square, thanks for picking me up, or thanks, bruh, I was off my square, thanks for picking me up. It ain't what we do, it's how we do it. And we just have to come to a level of love and compassion as to where we can, find that light into each other. Like Malcolm said, we have to find more light into each other. With more light comes love. With more love comes understanding and compassion. You know what I mean? And we can start as individuals. Everything starts as individuals, It starts as an individual. We have to take that mental, physical, and spiritual journey within ourselves for ourselves, but just try to bring it together as a collective and just try to be a light for people, man, because people lost out here. They looking for Hollywood to identify who they are, basketball wives and hip hop, love and hip hop. Nobody pretty much knows who they are right now, and they looking outside of themselves for what's already within them.
So that goes back to the beginning what Brother Mike X was talking about, how everybody has something, a gift that they can bring to the table, right? So when I was speaking of, I'm crazy like that. I full circle, right? So my whole thing wasn't calling Kanye or Nick Cannon a coon, right? That wasn't what I was doing there. The whole cooning situation was about just different other people. But Veronica checked that. And so, like I said, I'm a student too, right? So I learned. So now I'm going to start taking that word out my vocabulary because it does more damage than good. And what we're trying to do is bring our people in, not push them further away. So when you said, Brother Mike X, when you said everybody has a place, somebody got this right here, because we have to build a community, right? But it takes all of us to build the community. Yes, it starts individually of being the influence, the light, the illuminance, right? Me changing myself and influence somebody else's because they're watching you. But also when you build the community, it takes the people to build the community. It's not going to take just me building the community. Like it could start with just us five just being who we are, but as a collective, running into somebody else like-minded, building, run into somebody else like-minded. It has to bring full circle because it's not going to move with just us. It's not going to move on an individual thing because we are facing a system that we all know what that system is. And if the system is already built against us as a collective, they'll eat you up alive individually.
So there's a saying that goes, once the student is ready, the teacher will appear. That is basically you as being on a certain level as a teacher and also still being in the stance of a student. Once you start to raise your vibration, all of those like-minded people that you just spoke of, they're going to gravitate towards you. Y'all are going to gravitate toward each other. And it's not about making anybody feel no type of way who is maybe not as learned as you, or because you have to stay in the stance of a student as well as knowing that you are teaching the people who are under you. And this is not by force. This is always by choice. And so for you being able to raise your vibration, you are unconsciously making other people check themselves. So it's not always about, I gotta motherfucking tell you about yourself. No, it's a time and place for that because I do that too. However, that ain't what I'm focused on. So once you get so into yourself and do your inner work, you're going to see community come together. Religion has told us that we need to go out and get these motherfuckers and make them come back and do whatever the fuck we tell them to do. Oh, no, no, no. That's not how this is ever going to fucking work. And that's why you see so many people. And I look at the beauty in it. You see so many people with so many different thoughts. Now, you get too deep off in the thoughts, you get some fucked up ass shit, right? Or you can get some real beautiful shit, because we had a lot of independent thinkers, and that's where you get all your fucking books from, because they studied life and they started writing fucking books. So once you get to the point where you study life, then you begin to create and you write your own fucking book. And that comes with your level of going within and figuring out what you're supposed to do. Because this life is always going to seek balance. Earth, she's always going to balance. So for as many fucked up ass motherfuckers that you got out here, you got to know that life balances itself out. So you're going to have a Gandhi ass Teresa, Mother Teresa type of motherfucker to balance out them motherfucking, until people learn to balance themselves. And then you don't have as much corruption, seemingly more corruption, because the news reports the corruption. They don't really report the good shit that's going on. But just, you have to know, as a student of life, that as much bad shit you see going on out here, because the earth is seeking balance, it's as much good shit too. So it's not that bad. It's just what we are privy to when we turn on its fucking stupid ass television.
Right on, right on.
I mean, I agree wholeheartedly. Again, you know, and you know what's dope is synchronicity. You know, when you have never met someone a day in your life, but they have been on their job, obviously, as an individual, striving for self-mastery, striving for mental elevation and spiritual growth and transformation. And that y'all just come together effortlessly, you know, and create that synergy. And now y'all can shine where y'all was shining individually. Now y'all can shine together. So I never met Sister
Isha.
Sister Isha Ma'a. Never met her before. Never heard her talk before. But she said two things. She talked about that inner work, you know, that each one of us are responsible for taking ourselves through that journey. You know, not that just journey from one geographic place to another, but also a journey through learning, growing. When you know better, you begin to do better, or at least you're challenged with the responsibility of doing better. Because some people come to know better and never, you know, commit themselves to doing better. So she mentioned the inner work, and then the other thing that she mentioned, and me and Veronica, I talk about this a lot in my conversations. Me and Veronica was talking about this about an hour or so before we even got on the call. You know, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. You know, and to hear her say that, you know, it just gives me encouragement. It continues to build my faith that there is a process, a pathway of truth that we can begin to follow in our individual lives, and it will bring us to those moments when we come together, and we come together seamlessly. It's not even a lot of effort. If you're doing what you need to do, you're going to be able to connect with other people who are doing what they need to do. And I'll end what I'm saying by saying that it is about being the light. You know, a light of love, a light of truth, a light of discipline and commitment. You know what I mean? And being the best light that you can be, because the light attracts and the light repels. The light attracts those who want to be of the light, you know, and have a light of their own. And it's going to repel those who don't want that, you know, whether they're going to be hating on it, whether they, you know, jealous of you for being a light or whatever. That's not even a concern of yours. Just commit yourself towards being the light, you know, and when your light connects with somebody else's light, now y'all got a chance to shine even brighter, sharing that energy between each other. And having said that, man, I fall back. But I'm loving the conversation so far.
Yeah, so that's what this sparked the convo is. Like, It started with episode 1 to now we on episode 14, and it brought these 5 individuals together. A certain type of light, you know, influence, you know.
Light, you know, just being. Light can only be what it is, a light. It cannot determine who's under the influence of it. It cannot determine who turns away that influence. You know what I mean? And
right.
Just be who you are. Just continue to be, man. You know, that's why I tell people, just be, man. Don't worry about who you think I think you should be, because I'm not. Hey, I ain't trying to be who the next motherfucker think I'm trying.
Right.
That's too much energy. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just gotta know who y'all. Like Mike said, you know, everybody got a position to play. You know what I mean? Like I compartmentalize the battle that we up against as a people. I try to refrain from struggle, because I picked that up from Ishaka Musa, Dr. Ishaka Musa, Barashango. Like, you know, we always talking about we in the struggle, you know what I mean? But the battle that we facing as a people is like, I try to just keep in the forefront that my part in the fight is the financial fight. This is the fight I chose. You know what I mean?
All right.
It was. I mean, first, you know, it was, and it still is musically. That's my passion. It's always gonna be there, you know, because that's my ability to fight with word, sound, and power. You know what I mean? But right now, our people need to know the urgency, the sense of urgency we need to start, you know, activating and demonstrating through, based on our not having. I got a problem with being somebody's perpetual bitch. Okay? I got a problem with that. So that's where my energy at right now, man. And just still going, like Sister Isha say, as an individual spiritually, you know, I am the master, I am the student, I am the teacher, I am the school, I am the hospital, I am the university, I am all those things, I am the church, I am the mosque. You know what I mean? So, but I try to stay under the radar, off the grid, so to speak, because a fool will hate you, okay? A fool will hate you for correction. You know what I mean? So I try not to get off into that with people, you know, just trying to be like you just so better than everybody. I mean, just be everybody. I'm happy to even be in contact. I'm going to y'all. Like, real, man. You know, you don't get to have these type of exchanges with individuals who can think above the titty nipple, so to speak, right? You know, we on a vibration from the heart, you know what I'm saying, to the crown chakra. So it's like, this is a beautiful situation, man. And I get much pleasure out of this, man. I gain a lot from you all. Really.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I'm gonna say that's why I invited Brother Mike X, like, since the first day, bro, you was on here. I was like, boy, that brother right there is who I need to be around. You know, I need him in my circle. You see what I'm saying? I need you in my circle. Like, that's the type of brothers me and Griff be looking for. You know, we look for just individual, unapologetically black, you know, but you have that passion and that strength, and you have the knowledge, and you know how to deliver it. Not only is it in your voice, and when you project your voice, it hits a spot, you know. It's set forth, say, like, somebody's listening, you know, they listening to you, you know, and that's who I love to be around, somebody else that I can learn from, because I don't know everything. I don't, but I'm willing to learn, and I'm willing to share. I'm ready to teach. I'm ready to put people forward, put people on a platform to be able to speak, you know, like Isha. That's my hood counselor right there. That's my therapy right there. Real talk, like, me and her have conversations frequently. She talks me down off a ledge every day from the stuff I go through personally, you know. That's who I confide in, you know, just to speak to, because me and her speak the same language. There's no feeling behind it, but it's a passion behind it. She gives me that motivation to keep doing what I'm doing. Veronica, Tae, with the financial thing, I'm definitely on it, because we all need that. That's something that's missing in our community. They woke me up to that. you know, because I had to take a step back and like, dang, they right. You know, as soon as I met them, it's like a friend get killed. And I go to the corner store, they got a jar up trying to raise money to bury him.
Wow.
He was killed a week ago. They still ain't bury him, you know, so that hit me, you know, to what they're doing. We need that. We need that generational wealth. We need to be prepared for death because death is evident. You never know when it's going to hit you. So you have to be prepared for it regardless. Not fear it. Face it head on. Because facing it head on is when it does happen, you already know your people secured. I done secured everything. They ain't got to worry about where they gonna get the money to bury what, or to decide what do I need to cremate them because we can't afford the coffin. You know, you ain't got to worry about all that because you don't put stuff in line for that. And that's the different elements of life that we all have and the capabilities of bringing each other together and form a Voltron, form the village, you know, create more. And we become giants. You know what I'm saying? That light is shining. Like even in this podcast, it's shining because we're influencing so many people just to pick up a mic, regardless of what they're speaking on, like the brothers last week, regardless of what they're speaking on, they picked up the mic and felt like they had something to say. And that's what my influence, that I wanted to influence. Like, pick up the mic and speak your mind. Like, why are you holding back? Our community fucked up. It's fucked up. It's been fucked up. But we got to be the solution. You know what I'm saying? We got to be the solution, not them. They can't keep coming in, saving us, giving us trinkets and all these gifts that they swear they're going to give us, but want back later. No, we are the solution. We could create our own realm. We could create our own accountants. We could create our own banks. We could create our own community. We could create our own coffee shops. We don't need your Starbucks in our neighborhood to make the goddamn value of our neighborhood to go up. Yeah. Where our people got to move out. We should be able to buy up the block like Betsy Huff did. When we see an empty house, we should immediately get a meeting together. Look, this is house on the corner. We need to buy this house. You know, when you see people get evicted, we need to buy that house. We need to purchase it so nobody else that doesn't look like the community that house sits in could buy that and change the community up. We always need to keep our community intact, man. Period. And that's real estate game. You know, I got a cousin, that's what he do. He's in the real estate game. So he plays the stock game too. So we have brothers in different places and we just need to just start putting everybody together, meeting everybody, having meetings, bringing such and such, bring Brother Mike S here to meet this brother. You know, we just got to start building because that's the thing we need to do, the community that's going to be indestructible. You know.
Not only should we start building, we got to start considering securing our communities as well.
Right.
From an economic standpoint, we build, we create and put up a united front. That's the way. If you don't look like me, you do not create commerce in our communities.
Right.
So everybody else do it, and we for whatever reason, we feel like we always got to be those, you know, who's setting the good example. We always got to be on the good foot, you know, trying to prove something to other groups. And those groups care nothing about, you know, our financial or economic development. You know what I mean? Our ownership and property increasing in value and the ability for us to become owners, you know, and operators. Nobody cares about that, you know, because like I said, in they mind, they looking for us to be they perpetual bitches. You know, I got an issue with that. I really do. And every time I go into a corner store and it's a Arab running the store, I got an issue with that, you know? And then people ask me, why do I have an issue? My response is, why don't you? Why don't you have an issue with it? Because these people take your money. Same people won't even pay you to sweep the floors. You know what I mean? Your money don't even go, the money don't even go around in our neighborhoods, community one time before it's leaving outside the community. So we got to start thinking more in terms of that, you know, creating more of a solidarity and a more united front when it comes to economic empowerment and defense. You know what I mean?
Right. Like you, Issa, the other day when the lady wouldn't let you in and it wasn't even time for them to close it, you know? No, real talk. Because if that was somebody that looked like you, she would have had an overstanding that okay.
But wait, bro. I have to. She was Ethiopian though. So like that goes to another whole nother level of we want to include everybody that look like us. Everybody that look like us is not ready. Everybody ain't invited to the party. That's why it's not even about what I look like. Cause I swear to God, I could use a white person to my advantage. Cause some of these white people, I don't really like fuck with them. But I could use them to my advantage because they so down for the cause. So okay, cool, that's cool. Like you gonna help me? Long as you know that you gotta give up your white privilege for my black ass, we good. So that Ethiopian lady looked like me. I had to go over to the others who I don't shop over there, because black owned means what? Because you look like me? It's not always about that. Now, I don't like to go spend my money with people who really don't give a fuck about me. I'd rather give them to a Ethiopian, African, right? But even them, they don't really get our struggle. Not for real.
Indoctrinated just like any other group.
Right.
The fact.
We got to start holding them accountable.
So your mindset can be, I want my people to, but who the fuck is my people?
No,
who
but so
are
like
they?
And
they will present themselves to me based upon what I say, how I carry myself. Because what I say is law as it relates to me. So if you fuck with me, you fuck with me. I fucks with you. And if you don't, you're going to reveal yourself. And that's people that look like me too. So let's really just be clear on who my people are. My people are, they look like me, but they on a whole nother level too. So I don't just look, because you black, I'm down with you. Nah, nope. Everybody not invited to the party and you can't go. Just because you look like me, don't give you a pass for bullshit.
No,
now,
of course,
as it relates to me.
Of course not. But what I'm saying is just build some type of solidarity. And in that case right there, Isha, I would have called that Ethiopian sister on her madness.
Girl,
you have to.
It wasn't even worth it. I was trying to make the other.
No, we know at that time.
It's well worth
it's the conversation that needs to be had one day.
It's well worth
it. They don't know.
Exactly, they don't know.
They
got the same wherewithal that all of us do. They got the same information.
Just like you said, Kanye had to learn how to play the game. That's what they doing. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? If this, like you just said, just like you said, you said, you could use a white person for your advantage, right? What you think they?
But they're gonna reveal themselves to me. I don't gotta pull the rug.
I'm saying that Ethiopian has been given the advantage, so that's what she's doing. But this need to be a conversation. We need to hold ourselves accountable, man. Regardless, that next day we could have went over there, not protest, but we could have went over there and just had a conversation.
That's right, like sister, look.
This is what we went through. Just show her.
Exactly.
And after she reveals herself after that, then you move on. And everybody's not invited.
I feel you, but I ain't got no types of time. I just don't have no types of time. Like, I'm too busy doing this right here.
Right.
And the people who want it, I mean, everybody got their position. For those who won't protest, more power to you. If I can send some bread or whatever, I ain't got time to do that shit. I'm too busy on some motherfucking spiritual shit. This shit is not no motherfucking physical shit. This shit is some spiritual warfare. And if you want to do some physical shit, that's cool. Because I'm not too caught up there that I'm no good down here. Trust me, I'm not.
It's the balance of both, sir. It's mundane and spiritual.
That's what I just said. Like, I do what I can do, but it's some certain shit I'm not gonna do. And you can call me whatever the fuck you want to call me for that. Cooning or whatever. But I ain't doing that. I'm not doing it. That's for whoever that's for. That is not for me per se, but I'm not shitting on those that's for. I'm not protesting a motherfucking thing. We did that already. I'm not doing it. But if you do, I'm cool with it. I'm not doing it though.
So in that case, you could have just, you could have used a little kindness and reproof. Just slapped her upside the head a little bit and then rub that spot. You know what I mean?
I ain't have time. I had to make the other spot. This COVID shit got everything fucked up.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. I don't mean no harm.
Different outlooks on you, though. You would have. It's like, damn, I got to be more careful because they already, it's not their fault. They've been indoctrinated to pretty much stereotype us like everybody else.
Oh, yes.
Because they've been given the same privilege.
I went to school. I'm from New York. I grew up around a lot. I not really grew up, but I was around a lot of Africans. And then when I went to school down in Atlanta, those is like the more privileged ones. And they were telling us, like, their parents told us, don't fuck with them American black people. The fuck? That's some real ass shit. Everybody hates us. Everybody hates us, but why? Because what Nick Cannon fucking said. That's why they hate us. Because we them motherfuckers. That's why they hate us. Fuck you mean? I'm sorry. Let me calm down.
Yeah, it's all good.
I'm working on calming down.
Yeah.
That New York is.
Well, let's put it on New York because I was born and raised and I'm still here. So
okay, all right.
Let's not stereotype. Not to say that there's anything wrong with the sister's passion because I'm very passionate as well. You know what I mean? But, you know, I just wanted to say I'm here. I'm still in New York. You know, let's not just.
I was a joke.
Okay.
Y'all know I'm from LA. I just had to. I know y'all both from me.
And to be honest with you, that's something, you know, that needs to be addressed as well because the black community is not one monolithic group that all lives in the same place. Right. You know, we all have hoods. You know, we all have ghettos. We all have project developments, man, that are at the bottom of the totem pole. You know, and as divided as we are united in under the conditions and the conditioning, you know, that we're suffering under. So the solutions that work in New York on 90% of the issues that we have will work in Atlanta, will work in, you know, the Crenshaw district. You know what I mean?
Big city, urban city.
You know, so the good thing about it is the process to truth, the process to regeneration and redemption. You know, if one individual gets on that path and begins to walk that path and grow and transform in that path, you know, it blazes a pathway for other people to follow. Right. You know what I mean? So that's the good thing about what we're dealing with. And if enough of us begin to get it right, you know, within any of these cities, you know, that we live in, it becomes a beacon of hope to the other cities to follow, you know, what we did to liberate ourselves here. We can follow that same pathway to liberate ourselves in those other cities. You know what I mean? So there's a few things that I got out of what we was just talking about. The so-called African American at the bottom of the totem pole, you know, that has so much money, so much wealth, so much swagger. You know, we are the straw. We are that stirring the drink. You know, we just don't know how important it is to build up a social unity and organization that will allow us to begin to build politically and economically. You know, on this page right here, it sounds like we get it to a degree, you know, right. And all we got to do is begin to turn inwards. All we got to do and focus positively. You know, our focus shouldn't be on them, whether they're white. Our primary focus shouldn't be on them. It shouldn't be on, you know, the Africans or the Haitians or the whatever the case may be, you know, right. that don't respect our struggle, you know, and don't respect us. They could come and get our money, but they won't respect our lives. It's on us to organize ourselves to the point where we can begin to circulate our social capital amongst one another, our political, our economic capital amongst one another, and begin to build instead of complain. Because to me, point, continue to complain, it's a unconscious admission. You know what I mean? I don't believe that we can do it without them, whether they white, whether they Chinese, whether they Korean, whether they African. You know, do we really believe in ourselves at the end of the day is the question. And if we do, then we don't spend our time griping and complaining about who don't love us or should, you know, who life, you know, black life. You know what I mean? I don't prove to you that my life matters by the way I live my life, by the way I